Welcome to Reliability Matters, a podcast for the electronic assembly industry. Each episode covers topics related to reliability, best practices, and environmentally responsible assembly techniques, with insights from experts across the electronic assembly industry. Now, here's your host, Mike Conrad.
And we're back, as threatened, as promised. My guest for this too short of a segment is David Lee. He's with Inovaxe. Inovaxe was founded in 2003 and supplies advanced, lean, innovative material handling solutions to the electronics manufacturing industry. Their products are used mainly to streamline material handling and accuracy issues in the electronics manufacturing operation, especially where SMT devices are used, which is like everywhere, right, David?
Which is everywhere.
Welcome to this very abbreviated version of Reliability Matters. I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. I love it. I love the setup.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
Very nice, yeah.
These guys kind of know what they're doing. So, David, I want to concentrate on three adjectives that was in your company bio. Not just material handling solutions, but advanced, lean, innovative material handling solutions. What makes your material handling solutions advanced, lean, and innovative?
So let's start with the advanced. So at the surface level, it's a pick-by-light system that uses sensors. But what makes it advanced is below the surface area where we are integrating data movement, right? So communicating placement of parts, removal of parts, transferring material from one location to another, not only just from the physical standpoint, but that data needs to be transacted in the back end as well, feeding information up to MES systems, ERP systems, which factory-wide connectivity is one of the biggest things for us. We're doing a lot more than just selling hardware that is a pick-by-light smart rack. We call it a smart rack, and we call it innovative and advanced because we are integrating the hardware into a factory-wide connection, thus providing factory-wide connectivity and full traceability.
Give me an example of smart. What's the smart part of it?
Integrating to MES systems, using that to pull the demand of parts. So let's say in a stock room, you're using an MES to do your production planning. That MES is able to communicate to our smart racks, thus sending a pick list or a bill of materials to them, allowing you to then transfer your parts to a mobile rack that can go onto an AGV and automatically move out to an offline feeder setup. We are then able to light up the parts in order of feeder position, doing a guided feeder setup. And then once you have your guided feeder setup, the remaining material can go out to the line when we're communicating with the pick and place. So when feeders are running low down to a certain threshold, they're automatically able to light up another reel on their smart rack and automate the splicing process. While all that is happening, we're also communicating all that material movement, consumption, updated counts up to the MES, which is aggregating data up to an ERP.
Wow, that's quite smart. So I can understand quite easily how smart material handling systems can increase efficiency and optimization and flow and all of that. The show is called Reliability Matters, and of course everything in our space you can draw a line to reliability somewhere. Where does your type of products impact reliability, accuracy, quality, all of that?
So let's start with hardware on that standpoint, and I'll get to software. So in terms of hardware, we are using proprietary sensors to sort of trigger the validation of material going in and out. So we're not using optical sensors, which can be susceptible to lighting conditions and dust and things like that. Even the way an operator takes a reel and inserts it into the slot. So that's from a hardware standpoint, we are doing something different, and inventory accuracy, we're integrating. We not only do we offer an X-ray counter, but we integrate with all other X-ray counters too, right? It's a small industry, and we all have to work together.
Sure.
So we're able to get counts from X-ray counters, and that information, being that it's a sensor-based pick-by-light system, we're able to lock down the system, not allowing users to inadvertently place parts into the rack or inadvertently take the wrong reels out of the system. We can lock up the system, send messages up.
So that can prevent rework. It can certainly prevent escapes if it's not caught later. In
exactly.
AOI.
And I actually skipped a big part of reliability is actually going back to receiving. when parts first come in. Like we don't believe in we don't believe that inventory management begins like in the warehouse. It actually begins at receiving. So the first point of reliability is really when that reel comes, or when that part comes into the building, you have to receive it against a purchase order. And what people are doing today is they're looking at a packing slip and looking at a 50-character long manufacturing part number and seeing if it's the right part number on the PO. Well, that could be one digit off and a completely different component. So we were then using software, a camera, to intelligently detect the barcodes and pulling the information from the barcodes and using software to do that validation. So, and you know, all the way upstream from receiving to the stock room, you know, just being as accurate as possible, you know, getting counts from x-ray counters as opposed to a pick and place, which pick and place is great, but, you know, with the built-in attrition, the amount of tape an operator peels back and stuff like that, sometimes x-ray counters are a bit more accurate in that sense. So.
And last question, what are some of the common mistakes that just won't die, they just live in perpetuity, that people make when initially selecting a material handling solution?
The mistakes that they make when selecting, well, I guess the mistake would be not selecting one at all.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fair. Yes.
You know, a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but there are groups of people who will spend too much time and too much effort optimizing the efficiency of their production line, that material then becomes a bottleneck. You know, my machine becomes too fast for my warehousing crew to bring out material. And they forget that, you know, the faster your machine goes, the more efficient your material handling has to become. You know, it's like having a car that eats up more gas than it can refill, right? So you have to balance equally. You have to optimize equally. And they can both be optimized to greater than 90 some odd %, but you cannot neglect one area for another.
Right. Excellent. Well, David Lee, Inovaxe, thank you for this very abbreviated conversation. I'd love to invite you back on the show for
Absolutely.
a regular long format, hour-long deep dive down the material handling rabbit hole.
You want to go down a rabbit hole? I'll get the president to do that with you.
Well, there you go. All right. Well,
we'll get Ben.
He can be
Kushner.
voluntold. We'll get him on the show. Thank you, David. I really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And we'll be back in just a moment.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.